Once again, what's at stake here? You see USC getting themselves ready with William Jones going to do the early work here, who earlier in the day was not the first to cross the line in the men's 400, but after Jake Palermo was disqualified, Jones was declared the overall winner. Johnny Blockberger is not in the quartet as we see the personnel for USC, which is maybe a slight surprise, though he did not perform, I think, up to expectations earlier on in the competition, finishing third in the 200 meters. Cameron Miller of Purdue, who won that 200 meters, is in this final race as well. And USC sitting 6.5 points behind Oregon in the overall standings, going to race Purdue, Iowa, and Penn State. They've got to finish 1 or 2 in this race to win the team title.
Well, we talked about it a little bit before that 3K, that everybody else in that race that was out of the team standings, they wanted to do as best as they could, and part of the victory in that is you get to spoil it for Oregon. Well, here's what everybody's trying to do to USC now. They want to spoil it for USC. You want to be responsible for them not finishing first or second, because that's all USC needs to do right now. First or second, and they walk away with the Big Ten title.
One thing for certain, we will see 2 new Big Ten indoor champions, 2 teams that have never won the Big Ten indoor championships ever, as it will be Oregon on the women's side confirmed, and the men's race coming down to this battle between Oregon and USC. As they get into the block, Cameron Miller of Purdue, Landon Fontenot of Iowa, William Jones of USC, and Austin Gallant of Penn State. Men's 4x400 meters to crown a champion in Indy. From the inside, Purdue, Iowa, USC, and Penn State. Let's watch this one unfold. Penn State out early and quick.
Well, Cameron Miller, the 200-meter champion, on the inside, so not a preferred lane, but what he's going to be able to do is get out in front and be blocker to everybody else trying to come through. So they have preferred lanes, but as the fastest 200 man in the conference, now he's clogging things up for everybody else and making it a real challenge.
And I don't know what Quincy Watts told his quartet, but one thing I'm sure he did say is hold that baton as tightly as you can. Again, in indoor track and field, a bump from one side or another. You can see Miller kind of holding the baton a little bit oddly, kind of up and down, and now a fall by William Jones as he goes to the track, but USC now with the advantage as they head to leg number 2.
And USC just doing everything they could to get the baton off, and Jones fortunately got that baton off before he hit the ground.
But Iowa, Isaac Lewis, and Purdue, Wyszykowski, not going to let USC out of their sights just yet. Penn State looks like they're out of it for now, as USC has the lead coming into the second of 3 exchanges here, as Nathan Cumberbatch will take the baton for the Trojans.
Yeah, and I think there was a little bit of a challenge there as the outgoing USC runner starts to become a problem for the runners coming through, which caused that bit of a break. He did nothing wrong. He just kept running straight. But that's why positioning matters so much. And here come the Hawkeyes now on the outside, and we're probably going to get a little bit of bumping as we've got 3 all in it right now.
Look at this battle here. USC has to finish in the top 2, and right now doing everything they can to stay in the lead, and now a push on the outside. Oh my goodness, we're going to have all kinds of reviews on this race no matter what after that exchange into the final exchange, as Purdue has the lead, USC and Iowa.
Well, Iowa's Zidane Brown is going to see what he can do to claw back in, but Antoine Spencer of Purdue got a huge lead. Purdue just took advantage of a door that opened on the inside and just pushed their way through. And based on what we've seen earlier, I'm not really sure if they're going to say that's okay, but they've got to finish the race and everyone's got to get through. All USC can think about is winning or finishing second.
Well, in a season where we talk so much about individual pursuits, look at this. It matters so much to these guys as they get into the final stages of this race. USC trying to win an indoor title, but they will not win the final race, but they may in fact win that team title by a point, pending the outcome of this race. But what a finish by Purdue as they hold court here in Indianapolis with a 4x4 finish of 3:04.95. And this will have to be, again, unofficially, USC has just won the meet by a half a point. It is, and now scored as we look back at this final exchange.
Well, there's that first one where USC went down, but they got it off cleanly. And here's where the door opened on the inside. And rubbing is racing in college 4x4s. That's just what happens. If you open up a door on the inside, people are going to bump and make their way through. And I think that's what happens there. I think it's clean running by both teams. You never know what's going to happen and how they're going to adjudicate it and what angles they might be able to take a look at to determine it. Sometimes it's just based on what they see on the track, and that's all they have to go off of. But USC came out and did what they